Hi everyone! It's been a while. I'd like to say that I was taking a short productive vacation from writing to let some ideas marinate and plan new projects, but that is simply not why I took 6 whole months off from writing. But I did take 6 months off, and now I'm making a video on what happened. Okay, to preface, in fairness to me, I do take November and December off. November 12th was my birthday, and then there's American Thanksgiving, then Christmas, then New Year's, then actually my anniversary, and guess what I did for that this year? I got a new kitten! Look at him! His name is Little Mac, and he's perfect. Actually, he's kind of a nuisance, but he's still perfect. Anyway, that being said, it's not like I wasn't doing anything creative during this vacation. I was doing a lot of work for something new and exciting that might be happening, but I'm not sure yet, so I'm treating it like a pregnancy, and I am not announcing anything in the first trimester. But I wasn't churning out a lucrative product that I could show for my time, that's for sure. I guess it was just a real burnout from writing for Patreon. I think it was just that I felt really frustrated. Writing hasn't been a lucrative career path for me. That's just the truth, but it's literally my job. When I do my taxes every year, I have to put that I'm a self-employed writer on the forms because that's what I do, even though I don't make enough to support myself, and that's just the honest truth. It is really hard to be able to live on the finances of a self-employed artist of any kind. I think all art has its strengths and weaknesses, but being a writer can be particularly difficult. Maybe I'll make a fuller video on that sometime soon, but for right now, the point is that I got frustrated, frankly. I needed money, and I wasn't making much, and it sucked. And it felt really pointless. I wasn't sure why I kept trying. And I get into these moods every so often, but I don't always fall off from writing altogether because of it. There are a couple reasons why I've never gotten what you'd call a real 9-to-5, a real job, where the bosses take your money and they break your heart. But I was working on getting to a point where I could, because I was just so sure that writing wasn't going to happen for me. I need to be able to reliably pay rent and groceries and all that, so this just wasn't going to cut it. Maybe it's because it's hard, or maybe it's because I'm not good at it. And that's the worst part of these burnouts for me. I start to accept that I am bad at my craft, and I will never know if that is or isn't true. And I think that is something that we can all understand. We can completely convince ourselves that we aren't becoming successful because we're bad at writing, when really it's about those side skills we need, like making connections, finding agents, self-publishing. We're not as experienced in those, and we could just spend some time focusing on them, and maybe we'd find people that do like our stuff. I truly believe that. I have read so many people's works that should be more popular, but they don't want to put the time into getting popular because they aren't trying to become a capital W writer. They just do it for fun. But it does help illustrate how you have to focus on getting yourself out there just as much as you focus on the actual writing itself. It's all part of the job. If all you do is write, no one's gonna really know. I guess that's what hit me. I was doing so much to publicize myself, and I still wasn't going anywhere. So I just circled back around to I suck. It's been over a decade. I must just be a bad writer. People have been humoring me my whole life. I write fan fiction for free, and people are nice because they get free stuff and they don't know any better. They think I'm mid-tier, but they appreciated the content of their favorite, like, Genshin Impact ship or whatever. No one's gonna ever read my original stuff, though. No one likes my writing enough for that. All of that is what I had convinced myself of. And, frankly, I will probably convince myself of that again. Maybe I should make a video when I'm feeling that low, actually. It would be kind of interesting to see what I say when I'm completely giving up. I always kind of avoid that because it seems really vulnerable, but it also seems like a really universal experience. Maybe I should explore that more. Because right now, I'm getting back into the swing of things. Like I said, I have an upcoming possibility that has me really excited. And because of it, my Patreon might change a lot. But I don't want to get into those kinds of specifics here. Suffice to say, things may be becoming very different for me soon. I am really excited for that. And, just like I always thought, it was both pure hard work and a decent amount of luck. So remember that. There are always parts of the creative journey that are out of your control. Do not convince yourself that it is all 100% all of the time you. So what else did I do on this vacation besides take care of the new kitten and plan this new venture? Well, I worked on some studio art and I relearned Ren'Py, which is a visual novel engine that I've been using for a long time, but I also hadn't used it in a long time, so I needed to refamiliarize myself with it. And because I was practicing the coding, I actually made 2 sample visual novels, not full novels, just like a few screens, but one was based on Disciple, which is an old work of mine that is definitively over. It ended. There's no way I can go back to it. There's no more to that story, but I really miss it. So it was really nice to see it in a different form. And I also made one based on a new OC that I made, and I started to develop as I was relearning the coding. I also finished my gaming room setup, which is just a fun side project, and I got a lot of cleaning and organizing of my house done. I also finally filled in that space next to my writing desk with a mini fridge. That's because I was stuck in here a little Mac-a-Lock, but now it looks very cool, and it's very convenient for when I want a snack. And ultimately, I did what I wanted. I worked as much as I had to make ends meet, but I really just let things flow through me. Like when I found inspiration, I went with it. I drew, I coded, I developed, I just did never actually write. I gave myself over to the motivation, or lack thereof, and I only did stuff when I wanted to. And that is what I keep coming back to now. Is that okay? I don't think there's a concrete answer to that, but it is really easy to feel bad about it, like you're being lazy. I've talked about this before. Don't force writing if you don't have to. And technically I haven't had to. I write ahead when I can, anticipating this exact situation, but now my reservoirs have dried up and I have to get back to writing. I'm done wondering why this happened, and instead I'm wondering, can I get back to it? And then I follow up with, do I want to? What if I don't? Does that make me a bad writer? Does that make me less of a writer? What happens if I feel like this during a professional project, when I have a monetary advance and a deadline I have to meet so that I can keep buying myself food and shelter? Is this script for YouTube even any good? Do I want to be making this video right now? It all leads back to, was it okay to take a vacation? I've mentioned in videos before that I do always take a vacation from projects as part of my planning, but those tend to last about a week or two, maybe a month, and I'm finishing up other projects in the meantime. The point of them is that they happen before I start writing, not during. That's when I am letting things marinate and stuff. Taking a break this long in the middle of a project has a lot of drawbacks. Like, number 1, I forget everything. It's been so long that I have to reread everything. Checking a timeline doesn't cut it. I have to revisit the actual prose, and I never know where to start, especially if I'm several chapters into the project already. It's also hard to remember where all the files are on my computer. I had to search for them forever. Number 2, I lost passion. So you know what? This one doesn't happen as often as you think it does, for me anyway. Because I tend to know when I'm starting something if I feel attached to it or if I don't. And if I don't, I really consider if I should even do it. If I'm not 100% in love with the idea, I don't do it unless I have to. But while I don't always lose interest in one thing, I can just gain it in another. So number 3, I found new projects. Humans are just attached to new shiny things a lot of the time, it's true. Sometimes I come up with a new fun OC and I get really into developing them instead of writing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. It is so easy to find unique amusement in something novel, and even though I don't necessarily have zero interest in the previous thing, it's definitely a steep drop off, and it's hard to get back into them when this more exciting OC is right in front of me. So yeah, it's really difficult to get back to projects after a vacation. And that's why I question if I should do it, even if I'm creeping up on burnout. I know that burnout should be avoided at all costs, but I guess sometimes I feel like I can handle it if I can just get this project done beforehand. If I can just sneak in under the wire, then a vacation will be fine. Because I can easily take a few months off without worrying, because I don't have to start something new for a while. Seems logical, but creativity doesn't always care about logic, and neither does the timeline of a due date, so sometimes burnout is just something we have to contend with. But I have never hit a point in my life yet where I thought, that's it, I'm done. I'm just not a writer. I'm never writing again. I have never even said maybe I won't go back to it. I've always known that I will start writing again, and I don't know what inspiration is going to spark that. I just know that I have to let it happen when it does. But eventually, there are reasons to start again. Like number one, I have to. I mean, this one is pretty cut and dry. I have a job. My job is writing. I have to do my job, so I have to go back to it. But number two, I can't stop thinking about it anyway. I mean this is less of a new and shiny kind of obsessive thought, but more of a nagging, there's something that I haven't finished kind of thing. I need to get this done. I just have this work in progress laying around, and it just sets me off. Maybe this is my OCD, but knowing that I never finish something makes my skin crawl. But finally, number three, I owe it to the characters. I know that this sounds so goofy, it really does. There's nothing that I hate more than writers and creators who get like overly attached to their characters and start treating them better than they do like real people and acting like it's the most important thing. I don't know. There's just something, there's a line that people can cross for me. Getting too attached is such a bad idea, but at the same time, I do get pretty used to my OCs and I just feel bad leaving them high and dry. I know what's supposed to happen to them, but they don't. I have to resolve things for them. They need to know. So when will I start writing again? Well, hopefully next week, but I keep pushing it off. And I know I have to get some chapters done before the end of May, so the answer to that is before May 31st unless I change something drastically, which I don't want to do. But yeah, my secret while making this video is I'm still on vacation. Is it okay to be making a video about getting out of burnout when I'm still in burnout? I don't know. Is it okay to make a video about being creative at all when you're not? Well, I think that you're an artist if you say you're an artist. I think everyone is creative, and some people just have to tap into it more than others do. Some people are perfectly happy never creating an artistic work, and there is nothing wrong with that. They are not boring, they are not unemotional, they're just different than I am, and that is a great thing. But I don't think that you can just stop being an artist, no matter how long of a break you take. You can lose both hands and your eyes and can't draw the same anymore. You're still an artist. I don't care. If you identify as such, then you are. Artistry is a state of mind, not a chain of production. You don't quantify it with how many words you've written, or prints you've drawn, or tickets you've sold. So that should mean that if you need a vacation, you take that vacation. The wonderful thing about art is that it's always going to be there for you once you get back. So don't get hung up on labels. And don't let anybody tell you that you aren't creative just because you haven't created anything that they consider worthwhile. That's not what art is about. Art is about connecting all of us to each other, learning about each other's experiences, and trying new things. It's about finding new ways of seeing the world, and that is way, way more important to me than the fact that I haven't put pen to paper in 6 months. Thank you so much for watching. I know that I took a break, that's what this entire video has been about, but I really appreciate the people that have been watching and are still watching and are still giving me a shot. I really do appreciate it. So if you'd like to like and subscribe, please do. It helps out so much. And it's motivational. It makes me want to keep going and making new videos, to be quite honest. So I would really appreciate it. I have a few ideas for new videos that I want to get up, but I also was thinking that I could ask if there's anything that you guys have ever wanted to see or are wondering, or anything that I might not be an expert on, but I could definitely give my experience and opinions and maybe open a dialogue for everybody. Anyway, like I said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. And until then, happy reading!